configuration is that at the beginning I start with the stakes in between, and that all the objects they would connect to that stake. Like the original inspiration was from Rem Koolhaas, for where he has the idea for a museum. Like so, his model was that you have this column and this opus object connected to this column. And his idea was that anything you see is the circulation. Anything you don't see is the books. So that's always the original idea. But
That was the library.
yeah, that's the problem.
You said museum.
So that's how I configured all the objects at first. But then, that's what my the latest rendition of the project. In the previous one, I have this thing instead that connects all the pieces together, and I thought that would create more that dynamic and less have a less of an axis because of with the column. So that's why I use these from my previous for my previous version, and I vary the shape. I also vary the shape. Like I have a big one, a medium, and a small one, and I try to have a lot more small one than the big one.
More small than big.
Yeah.
So show me the small.
So these ones. I guess some of them are needed. There's a decrease in this.
I don't believe you that they're small. I only see like large. From what you're showing me, I'm saying.
I don't keep count of them.
No, like are you talking about like something like these?
Yeah.
Like, is that or is that
Those are the collective arms.
What are these doing for you?
Because I thought of it as similar to Rem Koolhaas project. I would think so as like circulation with the stairs in a way.
But that's not how you started, you said.
No.
You said you started with the actual grid.
I started with the object in one scale and the arms. And then I just started connecting it together.
With those.
Yeah, with the arms as the basis for how the object connects.
Okay.
And the result with that is like to become more static, I suppose. Like I didn't plan out a grid, but because of the same dimension of those arms, it came out as a grid.
No, I mean I see your point, but I think that if you would have like stuck to the idea of what you were talking about with Rem Koolhaas and just using vertical elements, right? Because you could just use the sticks in a way to then start to organize some of these other volumes in a way around that. So say you had like, I don't know, like 5 sticks or whatever, 10 sticks, he used 9 sticks. So if you use 9 sticks, right, like you started organizing volumes around it, then there would have been like an organizational strategy of how you started to devise those around a certain space, right? And how they started to interact with one another. Do they intersect with one another? Do they not intersect with one another? Do you have like one big volume next to another big volume? Do you have one big volume next to a smaller volume? Like, there's a lot of questions of how you start to organize those things, right? And I think, I mean, you've gone through that process of like scaling, things like that, but I think it's missing that layer of how you wanted to organize them.
I didn't use that too. It's actually.
Yeah, but you used it, but I think you abandoned it. You know what I mean? Like, it started it, yeah. But I think to like stick to it though, like do the whole thing. Because now I don't see that logic like repeating itself, right? And then picking out certain like. Because then you added the arm thing and the arm to connect them, which shouldn't be, right? Because you had the other things that were connecting them, right?
Yeah.
So like you started out like multiple layers of different types of connection. I guess that doesn't make sense. that make sense? Do your volumes intersect each other or no?
Okay.
Why? Why do they not?
I'm not sure.
No, I mean it's a personal question. It's like
Yeah.
anybody, right? Like, do any of your guys intersect? Okay, are you done?
I feel like it would introduce distortion to the object.
I see.
Like in a way I could control.
They already went through all of them anyways.
They already went through all of them? Yeah, the next section's done. They were like, we're done. It's like, okay, what do I do? So you're fine.
Yeah.
Have it now.
No, I like no because I think it's different for everybody, right? Like, if you think it starts to add maybe too much distortion or something like that, then maybe that's the reason why, right? Because if you start to intersect these things, there's a certain kind of condition that starts to happen, right? That they start to intersect, they start to bleed into one another. But what does that mean? So it kind of goes back to the idea of how you're thinking about how you're strategizing about packing, what packing actually means to you. So that's why I was kind of going back to the whole idea. Just constantly stick with that first idea, the initial great idea, and just leave them that way. Because now you started to connect them, and the connection seems arbitrary. That's like the same thing as intersecting them, right? Like that you're finding them. And so then why not just intersect them? Why introduce this other element to connect them? You see what I mean? Because it seems like you're adding things, but not necessarily sure why you're adding them entirely. Because I don't know what these are doing to you, like other than saying you want to connect them. Like I think you're getting some interesting like sectional kind of qualities. Like in here when you start to see these spaces floating in space, right? And maybe what it could be is that maybe I don't know, like maybe these should just all be vertical. Like maybe these guys should just be your column that you're talking about, right? This column. And there's a ways to kind of intersect. What else? Were you looking at the spaces in between also though? Were you interested in that space in between or no? And also too, why is this more dense on this side than this side?
Because that's intention.
Why? Yeah, why not?
I suppose because at first it was less dense and everything is clustered together. Like a big object, we have smaller object of different value along with it. So that's how they are doing originally composed. But it looked too sparse. Like there's too many void in between them. And because the assignment is about packing and stacking and all that stuff, so I started filling those spots. But I also don't want to put too many in because I looked at other student projects. They look almost unrecognizable. It's hard to see everything. So I thought if I just leave half of the side, the sparse, it would make it easier to read on their time.
I see. But I think you probably need an organizational strategy that like happens more than just what you're talking about. Like you just started to pull out items, right? Is that what you mean? Like you said it was too dense at first. So
No,
you
it's too smart. Like there was too many voices
here.
everywhere.
And yours. So you added.
I added.
That's why this is like this?
Yeah.
Because
whenever I add, because when I look at other people's projects, they become too
Yeah, no, I
easy.
got that.
So when I add back in, I try not to add too much that it will become unrecognizable.
that's your reason for that.
Yeah, to have one side back and the other side back, I suppose.
Okay.